Hello, welcome to White Birch Tarot. This reading is for Friday the 11th of August through Sunday the 13th of August. I almost said June there for a minute. Where'd that come from? I'm going to start off with a quote. This is from someone I don't know. Her name was Jenny Holzer, Holzer, and she said, "It is in your self-interest to find a way to be very tender." Okay, and just to be to give credit, I got that off a weekly thing I get in my email, like a newsletter thing from an astrologer. His name is Rob Brezhny. If anyone's interested, it's spelled Brezsny, and I'm not affiliated with anyone in any way, but I just think I like his stuff that he sends out every week. He's really cool. So anyway, the astrology is very interesting. It's kind of what we had last time. We have an ongoing square with Pluto in the North Nodes, and I'm not going to talk about that tonight because I've talked about it before, and I will talk about it again. But tonight the moon's in Gemini, so lots of communication probably going on. And Mercury and Mars. Mercury rules our communication. That's the primary thing it rules. And Mars is our physical bodies, but it's also our desires, and it can be our anger and our tempers. And since Venus, which rules our relationships and what we value, what we love, who we love, is conjunct Black Moon Lilith, which is kind of the dark side of our Venus, like, the possessive part, the part that, I talked about her last time. She's kind of our dark side, but can also be very powerful in a very standing up for yourself kind of way. They are conjunct in Leo, which is full of drama. So I'm feeling like there could be a lot of dramatic communication going on right now between you and others. I mean, I'm assuming it's not you and trees. I'm assuming it's you and other people. So I would watch out for that, and again, sometimes that can be healing if you have a problem with someone and then you analyze it later, like, why was I so triggered? So it's not necessarily a bad thing, because Chiron is still retrograde in Aries at 19 degrees, and when Chiron is retrograde, it makes us look, Chiron rules it's the wounded healer, so it makes us, when it's retrograde, it makes us kind of, stuff comes up. And stuff comes up with Pluto, squaring the nodes in Aries. Aries is the self. So anyway, there might be a lot of uncomfortable communication energy going on, which looks like it was reflected in the cards I just pulled. And I have to say, the fairy cards wanted to come out, and I just didn't. I'll pull a couple later, but I wanted something a little easier tonight because, just because. So anyway, we start off with the Five of Pentacles, and this is the card. Oh, it's going to be blurry again tonight. What is going on with this thing? I clearly still haven't gotten my new iPad set up. I will do that. I've just been busy. It won't focus. Well, I apologize for the blurriness, but this is the Five of Pentacles. And this is feeling that you have to do everything on your own, and it can be feeling very isolated, rejected. It can also be feeling like you're choosing to go it alone. You're like, no, I don't want to do it other people's way. I want to do it my way. Okay? And then we got all the cards tonight are either swords or wands. We only have one pentacle, and that's the first one. All the rest of the cards are swords and wands. And again, swords rule air. Swords are air, which is communication. And wands can be physical action, but they can also be desire and or anger. That's why I'm thinking, since Mercury and Mars are conjunct, or they're 4 degrees apart, they're not exact yet. But that's interesting that Mars is fire and Mercury is air, which is swords. So we got all, I just feel like this Mars-Mercury thing is really influencing our communication with others. So we get the 10 of Wands. We got a lot of wands tonight. Actually, let's see. We got 2, 3. We got 4 wands and 3 sword cards out of 8. That's a lot. So the 10 of wands is where we are finished with something. We're just at our wits' end. We're like, I can't take anymore. You might be feeling angry at someone or be the butt of someone else's anger, but you're just like, I'm done. I'm not playing this game anymore. I am done. And this is a good thing, because sometimes you have to get to the end of your rope before you let something go and say, you know what, I'm not, this isn't working. I have to take a different route. Then when you decide that, in comes some communication. You get some information or a message from someone, and I feel that this is helpful. The Eight of Wands is usually positive. Eights are good. They're the infinity symbol. And so I think once you kind of just reach the end and say, look, this is, I gotta calm down, this isn't working, you get some information from someone that changes your perspective. Okay? Because then after that, we get the Ten of Swords, which is mental energy again, but it's the end. So we have two tens. It's the end of a feeling of maybe anger or frustration, and it changes the way you think about something. You're like, look, the way I'm looking at this, it's just not working. This communication cycle I'm in, it's just not working. You know, it's done. You got to let it go. It's just not working. And then I drew the Seven of Wands, and actually this came out in the reverse, but I'm feeling like since we have so many planets retrograde, I changed my mind and decided I wasn't going to do reversals. So I hope I didn't make a mistake, and I apologize. Why is it blurry? I don't understand that. Hope my next iPad doesn't do this. This is arguing. I mean, this is clearly an argument and a conflict. And again, it's probably a conflict with others, but remember that old saying, and one of my friends just heard this for the first time. I've heard it before, but she reminded me of it. She said, you know, when you point your finger at someone, there's three fingers pointing back at you. So if you're having an argument with someone, you might also look inside yourself and say, why is this so triggering for me? You know, because sometimes it's the things about other people that bug us the most that it turns out we have inside us. And then we get the King of Wands, and this is good. This is good. This is being in control of our emotions. So once you can hit the tens and try to let the situation go and just say, look, the way I've been going about this isn't working. I've got to change my message. This could be you changing your communication style or getting some new information that changes the way you look at the situation. Then you feel in control of your emotions. That's a good thing. So you can finally have some leadership. And when I say leadership, it could be that you've gained some control over a situation or a relationship. It could also be that you have gained control over your own emotions in this ongoing situation that you're in, that I feel like it's a communication with someone with Venus and Leo, very dramatic. Leo is nothing if not dramatic. Then we get the Five of Swords. And in some of the decks, this is different energy. It's kind of a conflict. In this deck, it's kind of like you've taken on too much and you realize that you just can't handle it. You got to let some of the swords go. It's just too heavy of a load. He's fallen to the ground and he's like, oh my gosh, I can't carry that many, and this angel or whomever it is pointing at the swords like, you better choose your battles because I don't think you can win all of these. So again, this is kind of a disruptor coming in saying, I don't think you're going about this the right way. I think you've taken on too much. You might want to back off just a bit. And then, let me reach around the side here so I don't hit the camera. We end up with a very positive card again, another swords. So more mental energy. But this is about leaving that situation behind and moving on to calmer waters. So I really feel with Mars and Mercury almost exact, they're 4 degrees apart, but I think that's close enough to be conjunct, and they will move closer, I think. With them together, and then Venus together with Black Moon Lilith, her dark side, I feel like we have had some upsets with someone, and people who know me know that this has actually been playing out in my life, and I'm not just taking it from that. That's what the cards say. We are moving on to calmer waters. So I think we're getting, if you haven't resolved your situation or your conflict already, you will soon. You will soon, because with this Eight of Wands, you're either going to get some, oh, I got a string hanging. You're either going to get some information that comes in that changes your mind or your feelings about this. Well, the string's just going to have to hang because it won't come off. Or you're changing the way that you're communicating with someone else, and that makes everything better. Okay, now the fairies have been clamoring to come out tonight. They wanted to be the primary, and I just said, I can't handle you tonight. Oh, interesting. The returning. Okay, so whatever conversations you've had or communication you've had with someone or feelings that you've been feeling in regards to others is from something that happened in the past. It's definitely connected to old stuff that's inside you. It's coming back for a second look, and you know, with Chiron going retrograde, I would guess that it's coming up to be healed. We get the Queen of Passage. Two feminine energies. That's interesting. Okay, the Queen of Passage, and I just want to take a look. This is a really, where's my Heart of the Fairy Oracle book? I want to read her because I'm not too familiar with her, but I think she's about moving on. I mean, it sounds like it. Yeah. It's surrender, transition, and trust. Okay, all things change. All situations move from one phase into another. Sometimes those transitions are difficult. Letting go and moving on, whether to a new life, a new love, or perhaps just a new phase of a current relationship, can be painful, but the Queen of Passage is there to help with those transitions. Okay, there is growth in the future. There is a way ahead. The darkness comes as you step from one state to another. The moment of passage between the past and future, between the worlds themselves, is a moment of surrender. Okay, so this is about, that's why we got 2 tens. It's about something being over. It's about something being over and you being willing to change your mind and the way you feel about something. And when I say feel, that's usually cups. But the Ten of Wands is kind of like, wands are tricky. They're physical action, but they're also spirituality. And since Mars rules anger, and Mars is a fire sign, or Aries is a fire sign, Mars is rules Aries. Anger's an emotion, so I always get feelings and emotions mixed up. There's only 2 emotions, love and fear, but there are thousands of feelings or something like that. Anyway, okay, I want one oracle card just to sum it up, even though I think the fairies have kind of told us that, this has something to do with the past, and we're going to move on from it, and we have some help with the Queen of Passage. Go the distance. Don't burn yourself out. Remember, this is a marathon, not a sprint. Okay, the fairies are, I'm sorry, I have to put the oracle, I wanted to do another oracle card. These fairies are just calling me tonight. I got to do one more fairy. One more fairy wants to come out. Prick up your ears. Okay, listen carefully to what people are saying to you. You might be misinterpreting something and you don't want to miss anything. And it also means to be careful. The communication right now can be tricky, so just be careful. Let me see if I'm missing anything with that one. I don't think so. I think it's pretty self-obvious, but let me see if there's anything. Yeah, jumping to conclusions, listening with clarity and appropriate meaning. Yeah. And it says, it's important to take the time to really prick up your ears and listen to what is being said, and not only to what is being said, but to what it actually means. You may be surprised at how often a meaning is quite different from what you first supposed. That sums up the whole reading for me. We think it was one thing with this communication or relationship or whatever. No, we have to look at it a new way. And then everything changes and you're able to be in control and you get to move on. And the Queen of Passage will be there to hold your hand. Okay, I hope that's helpful. Please hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons. And I just wanted to say a quick word about my astrology classes, which I have not started yet. I'm so busy, I probably won't start them for a month or two, to be honest with you. But when I do, I will post it so that if you're subscribed, you will get the notification and it will be very clear when they're starting. And I'm going to do the beginning class completely free. So if you're interested in beginning astrology classes, give me a couple months and I'm going to put that together. So blessings. Please leave me a comment. Let me know what's been going on with you. I would like to know. And I will talk to you next time. Blessings. Good night.